Hello everyone, and welcome to my Update US Gossip channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The love of Meri Brown's life hasn't been feeling well. Sister Wives star Meri Brown has been nursing her best friend back to health, which could explain her recent absence from social media. 53-year-old Meri was the first of Kody Brown's 4 wives. After 32 years of marriage, Meri divorced Kody and the plural family as a whole in 2022. With her one child all grown up and living far away, Meri found herself on her own. During Sister Wives season 19, Meri finally said goodbye to Kody. By the time she was packing her things, 2 of Kody's other wives had already divorced him. Meri tried to work it out long after she ought to have left. After deciding to pull the plug on her polygamous marriage, Meri had to put her life back together. In the end, she relied on her friends, particularly her best friend. In January 2024, Meri posted an announcement on Instagram announcing that she had adopted a dog. The story of how they met couldn't have been any sweeter. According to the Sister Wives season 19 star, she met Zona at the shelter. Though she didn't want a dog due to all her traveling, she couldn't stop thinking about the little pup. "I couldn't get her off my mind or out of my heart," wrote Meri, "so I went back on Sunday and brought her home with me." It was exactly what Meri needed after leaving Kody. Since Meri adopted Zona from the shelter, she has posted about her beloved best friend regularly. Meri recently posted an Instagram photo of Zona taking a nap in her dog bed. Meri's sweet caption reads, "Also when sweet Miss Zona hasn't been feeling well, I keep her close. My heart is full of her. We were meant for each other." Hopefully, the star of Sister Wives season 19 was able to heal her 4-legged best friend. Meri realized that she wasn't happy being alone after she divorced Kody. Seeing how fellow Sister Wives star Christine Brown met and married David Woolley soon after leaving Kody, Meri started her search for a new man. Meri dated a man named Amos for a few months in 2024, but that didn't work out. Thankfully, Meri has Zona to keep her company until her next boyfriend comes along. In the absence of any publicly disclosed estate plan, fans have taken to Reddit and social media to speculate about exactly who would stand to inherit from Kody Brown's assets should he pass away without a formal last will and testament, and the consensus is that, in that scenario, his only legally recognized spouse, Robyn Brown, would receive everything by default, an outcome many believe aligns perfectly with Kody's historical pattern of privileging Robyn and her children over his first 3 wives and their offspring. Under intestate succession laws in most U.S. jurisdictions, when someone dies without a will, the surviving spouse typically inherits the entirety of the estate if there are no minor children, or a significant share if there are children. In Kody's case, because his marriage to Robyn is his sole legally recognized union and all of his 18 children are adults, Robyn would legally be entitled to the entirety of his personal assets and any real property not held in joint tenancy, leaving the 18 biological Brown children, including the 13 OG kids from his marriages to Meri, Janelle, and Christine, plus Robyn's 5 children, without a direct claim unless Robyn chose to distribute assets to them. Exposé. Indeed, as one Redditor astutely observed, I would be shocked if he has a will. That would require forethought, planning, and spending a little money to get it done. He doesn't seem to like to do any of those things. And by not having a will, if something happened to him it would all go to Robyn, which is probably what he wants anyways, a comment that underlines the fan theory that Kody may intentionally avoid drafting a will to ensure Robyn's financial primacy. Exposé. Moreover, during a candid confessional that many interpreted as an impromptu test balloon, Robyn herself joked that, if they were to split, she would need her piece separate from him so she could have something for her children, implicitly acknowledging that she expects to secure her own inheritance distinct from Kody's estate and ensure that her 5 children are provided for independently of the other Browns. Exposé. Kody's terse response, apparently unenthused and offering no clear commitment to that arrangement, only fueled speculation that he intends to leave all assets in his name alone, a strategy that would effectively disinherit his first 3 wives and their children, unless they pursued costly and uncertain probate challenges or unless Robyn, acting as executor, chose to distribute portions of the estate to them out of personal discretion. As another Reddit comment put it, it would also require his admitting he will die. He's too much of a narcissist to acknowledge that the world will someday continue on without him, highlighting fan perceptions of Kody's reluctance to engage in any planning that might dilute Robyn's control or benefit other family members. Exposé. Beyond the question of intestacy, some fans have theorized that Kody might opt to craft a narrowly focused will or trust, naming only Robyn and his biological children as beneficiaries of his personal property and financial accounts, while excluding his ex-wives entirely, an arrangement that would echo the Coyote Pass property saga, in which Kody initially attempted to allocate minimal shares to Meri and Janelle before ultimately conceding more equitable interests only under legal threat. One fan speculated, "My theory has always been that they were trying to split the land into 5 pieces for Robyn's 5 kids. I have no evidence to back this up, but I just get a gut feeling, suggesting that even if a will were drafted, it might disproportionately favor Robyn's offspring and marginalize the OG Brown children, thereby reinforcing the perception that Kody's loyalty, and his estate planning, remains firmly anchored to Robyn's line." Exposé. The prospect of a will that excludes Meri, Janelle, and Christine from any inheritance resonates deeply with viewers who have watched those 3 women relinquish legal and financial claims, Meri through her 2014 divorce, Christine through her voluntary sale of her Coyote Pass share for a nominal fee, and Janelle through her contentious split, only to find themselves battling for recognition and recompense years later. Were Kody to die intestate, the ex-wives would have no standing to claim a portion of his estate, and even the biological children could find themselves at the mercy of probate courts and Robyn's discretion, as adult children do not automatically inherit under intestacy laws if a spouse survives. Such a scenario would likely precipitate bitter legal disputes, reminiscent of the post-divorce property battles that have defined recent seasons of Sister Wives, and would underscore the precariousness of wealth and asset distribution in plural families lacking comprehensive estate planning. In contrast, a handful of more optimistic fans have suggested that Kody might include his ex-wives as token beneficiaries, perhaps granting each a modest sum or symbolic heirloom, while still reserving the lion's share of his estate for Robyn and their combined offspring. However, this notion runs counter to Kody's historically transactional approach to family finances and the repeated allegations that he has played Meri and Christine into disadvantageous legal positions. As Meri herself lamented after realizing the true cost of her legal divorce, "I felt played and used," she said, reflecting the broader sentiment that Kody's personal and legal maneuvers often prioritized his own interests and those of Robyn over the well-being of his first 3 wives. Exposé. Ultimately, until Kody Brown executes a formal will and publicly discloses its contents, an unlikely prospect given his apparent aversion to planning for his own mortality, the question of who will be included in his last will remain squarely in the realm of fan speculation. What is clear, however, is that in the event of intestacy, Robyn Brown would stand to inherit the entirety of his estate, leaving his 18 children and former wives to rely on her benevolence or on protracted legal action to secure any portion of his legacy. As one Reddit user soberly observed, "The only thing the OG-13 will be left is a pile of debts and probably at least a few civil cases," a stark reminder that without deliberate estate planning, the Brown family's long-running saga of shared dreams and legal disputes could culminate in yet another bitter chapter of contested inheritance and fractured loyalties. In the season 19 premiere of Sister Wives, TLC finally acknowledged the tragic loss of Kody and Janelle Brown's son Garrison, who died by suicide on March 5, 2024, through a simple yet poignant opening title card that both situated the season's timeline and honored his memory. As the episode began, on-screen text informed viewers that this season of Sister Wives began filming in late 2022, before solemnly noting, on March 5, 2024, Kody and Janelle's son Garrison passed away. He was greatly loved and will be deeply missed. IMDb. This brief on-screen tribute was the only explicit reference to Garrison's death in the premiere itself, a choice that some fans found insufficient given the gravity of the loss and the family's public mourning. Rather than intercutting raw footage of grief or funeral scenes, producers opted for a respectful, text-based acknowledgement that preserved the family's privacy while still signaling to audiences that the season would contend with this heartache. AOL. Although the premiere offered no additional visual or narrative exploration of Garrison's passing, behind the scenes TLC had already confirmed plans for a dedicated tribute episode later in the season. According to a press release read on The Sarah Fraser Show, TLC stated that as the season progresses, the family must face a tragic loss with the death of their son, Garrison, and that in moments of reflection and honor, family members come together to share cherished moments, visit places significant to their past, and commemorate his life. Theishley's Reality Roundup. Subsequent reports clarified that this tribute would air as part of Season 19 rather than as a standalone special, ensuring that Garrison's memory would be woven into the broader arc of the family's journey rather than isolated from the ongoing narrative. M.IMDb. Insider confirmation that producers had filmed new material following Garrison's death added further context to how the show would handle this storyline. One Reddit post noted that Robyn and Kody returned to set to shoot a scene for Season 19, Episode 4, after the family's loss, suggesting that producers were intent on capturing genuine, post-tragedy reactions rather than relying solely on pre-death footage. Reddit. While details of these scenes remain under wraps, the implication is that later episodes will include candid moments, likely involving Janelle, Kody, and the surviving siblings, grappling with their grief in real time, as opposed to retrospective interviews. Beyond the premiere's title card and the promise of a tribute episode, TLC's mid-season return announcement on April 20, 2025, explicitly referenced the family's grief over the loss of Kody and Janelle's son, Garrison, positioning his death as one of the season's central themes alongside property disputes and shifting marital dynamics. Watch. This promotional language made clear that viewers should expect more than cursory nods to the tragedy, that the show would dedicate substantive airtime to how each Brown family member is processing the aftermath, from private moments of remembrance to on-camera reflections about his impact on their lives. However, some fans and critics have questioned whether TLC's approach strikes the right balance between respectful commemoration and the reality TV imperative for dramatic storytelling. In contrast to other high-profile televised tributes, where networks have aired full segments devoted to a departed cast member's life, the initial handling of Garrison's death felt understated, with no funeral footage or group interviews in the premiere, leading to speculation that producers were wary of exploiting the family's pain. Theishley's Reality Roundup. Nevertheless, the promise of a later tribute suggests that TLC is saving more in-depth coverage for a moment when the family is ready to share more, and when audiences can witness genuine moments of unity and healing rather than a rushed, premiere week montage. Complementing the on-screen developments, off-camera tributes by family members have underscored the personal significance of Garrison's loss. Janelle Brown, who was named personal representative of his estate, marked the one-year anniversary of his death with a heartfelt Instagram post that encouraged donations to animal shelters, reflecting Garrison's love for his 3 rescue cats, and provided crisis support resources for those struggling with similar pain. Theishley's Reality Roundup. Meanwhile, Garrison's siblings, Michael T., Paydon, and Leon, have shared emotional tributes and private reflections on social media, underscoring the depth of their grief and the tight bond they shared with their brother. Yahoo! These personal memorials have served as a bridge between the family's private mourning and the show's more restrained televised acknowledgement, suggesting that when the cameras return to Garrison's memory, the Brown siblings' authentic expressions of loss will anchor the narrative in genuine emotion rather than manufactured drama. As Season 19 unfolds, viewers can therefore expect a multi-stage approach to honoring Garrison, an initial, respectful title card tribute, a forthcoming episode dedicated to commemorating his life through family reflections and visits to meaningful locations, and an undercurrent of personal memorialization by the Brown siblings on social media. This layered strategy allows TLC to balance sensitivity with storytelling, giving space for authentic grief while integrating Garrison's legacy into the ongoing saga of a family learning to navigate profound change. Whether this approach will satisfy fans' desire for deeper emotional engagement or leave them wanting more will depend on how candidly and comprehensively the show delves into the impact of his loss, and whether the tribute episode lives up to the promise of honoring the bright spirit so many came to love.